We all have to start somewhere, and some people get to start off really luckily, but those people are usually Kardashians, so forget it. Hi everybody, guess who's back? It's Letitia, and I don't know if I'm gonna say that anymore because I work with Catherine. If you guys don't know, Catherine from Cappuccino and I are actually co-workers now at Adam Lippis, and she always makes fun of me for saying it's Letitia, so I might have to come up with a new what's it called, slogan slash trademark slash greeting. I'm back, and I'm really going to try really hard to stay being back. So today's video is going to be my Q&As, and you guys have asked me all types of questions about my move to New York. A lot of you guys have a whole bunch of questions that I'm here to answer today. So let's get started. It was slightly different for me because I used to intern for them. I would say it was pretty seamless to transition into work. It's actually the day before work that was really hard for me. I was having a panic attack before work because I guess everything kind of caught up to me, moving to the city by myself and starting my first full-time job and just not knowing what to expect. Definitely my first day was great. I have to say, I was going through training and it wasn't too overwhelming. It wasn't like I was being thrown into the deep end and asked just to do things that I didn't know. I had a lot of help, which I'm really grateful for, and it's really nice when you have a workplace that supports, your growth and makes sure that you have a good base to start with. I found this internship through my job in Canada. I used to be an intern for Adam, and I got that internship through my boss in Canada. The start of my working career started off definitely in retail because it all added up to how I got this job today. I started off in retail, then moved to another retail, and then my manager recommended me for an internship with this lady, which was kind of like a personal assisting kind of internship, but she was very involved in fashion. And she knows Adam in New York, and I had told her that I was looking for an internship in New York. That was kind of impulsive. I had suddenly decided one day that I think I should try working in New York. I had a few interviews for other places, but in the end, after being rejected by most of them, I decided to go with Adam and interned there for 3 months in 2013, and I now work for them in 2015 full-time. So, bleh. I think in grade 11, when I was looking at schools and different programs, I couldn't figure out what I wanted to do. I had been going to university fairs every single year, trying to decide. High school was really not for me. There were pretty much not a single course except for like graphic design, computer arts, and art was something that I enjoyed. I came across fashion communication and I decided that that was the right way for me. I wanted to go into fashion, and like every single person at that age, or actually even a lot of people now, we think of fashion as this really glamorous industry. You get to dress up, you get to work with clothing, and it's just wonderful, but it really is one of the most unglamorous industries, and it's also not that big of a deal. It runs like every other company, except that the product that you're working with is clothing. I am most likely going to BeautyCon this year since I live like a train ride away from it now. It just depends on availability, if I can make it or not, if I have to work the weekend, or if it will be a weekend. It's probably a weekend, right? So yes, most likely I'll be going to BeautyCon New York this year! It's actually funny that you asked that because Catherine used to be an engineer, and now she went to school in New York for fashion merchandising, and now she's working in the industry. So I think that if you wanted to ask, this question is best for Catherine. I don't think I would have the answer for what you should do, but I do have to say that Nobody going into fashion school knows what fashion school is. Not a single person. None of your expectations of what fashion school is really what it turns out to be. It's all about what you do with the time outside of it, whether you want to find an internship and work, kind of get some experience in the industry first. I think that could be a good way to start to see if you actually really enjoy it in the end, because I can tell you for sure that you have a totally different understanding of fashion after you go through school and after you work in the industry. It's never what you expect. Thank you, Bianca, for your kind words. So I found out about this opportunity in October and I moved down here in January. So I had 2 months to move my life down here. I mean, I think the most important thing to consider is your method of transporting your life, because I was lucky enough to have a car and Stefan and I drove down, so I got to fit as much as I could. I made a list of things that I wanted to move down to New York, then I made a list of things that I would have to buy in New York. Especially moving to a bigger city, there isn't really much worry about what if you don't have this and what if you don't have that, because eventually you'll find a way to acquire it. My biggest obstacle, especially moving to a city where I'll only have a car for a couple of days, was to get big pieces first. So I had to arrange for a mattress, a desk, chairs, and a dining table. I had to figure those out first, because if I didn't have those, and if I didn't have a car, then I'd have to figure out shipping or pay for moving. Amazon was the best thing in the world, and having a car to go to IKEA was also another amazing thing. Transitioning yourself emotionally, and I am definitely going to make a video about homesickness and anxiety, moving somewhere by yourself. I mean, it was a huge shock to me. Watching other YouTube videos about people going through their own anxieties and going through homesickness has really helped me get past my own. At my school there was an option for fashion design and fashion communication. And so design, very straightforward, design. Communication was kind of like an umbrella, and depending on the courses that you took, you could focus it more on creative fashion work or more business fashion work. It was all really pretty flexible for us. I know that schools in New York, because there are schools that are dedicated to fashion, they're a lot more specific. So if you go into a fashion program in New York, it'll be like fashion merchandising and you would only be merchandising. So I'm really grateful that I got to go to a school where if we happened to change our mind partway through school, we could focus our courses more towards what we really wanted to do. Getting my job now is proof that internships do work. I'll definitely make a video about work-appropriate outfits that work around a very budget-friendly wardrobe, because that's all I have to work with. Thank you, Angie. Yes, I did need to get a visa, and I got the TN visa. Was I thinking of dual citizenship? Well, if Stefan and I broke up and I found a sugar daddy here that was willing to marry me for a green card, then sure. And this is Stefan supported. I told him that I needed to probably get a sugar daddy to sustain my expenses of living in the most expensive city in the world, and he was all for it. Asian parents, when you get a job offer or a career, they're all for it. They're like, yes, definitely. But yeah, they were very excited, and when it came time for me to leave, it was pretty, I'm sure it was really tough for them. When I got this job offer, I was a little hesitant about it, and when I was talking to Stefan about it, he told me that I should definitely take the offer. He's been really supportive. He's always been like that though. He's always been like, do whatever you want, do whatever you think you need to do, and I'll do what I need to do because things will work out for us. We're still really young and we're taking it day by day. Right now it's just try to see each other as much as we can, and Skype as much as we can. And no, I did not bring Lola with me. Lola is not my dog. She is my boss's dog. So my Canadian boss, the one that got me my job here, that's her. Lola is her dog. She travels a lot, so whenever she traveled, I would take care of Lola, which is why you see her so much. I signed up for a dog sitting service. I'm going to try and be a dog sitter. I think everybody knows this. Getting to work in the States is so difficult. So my position at Adam encompasses e-commerce, digital marketing, and graphic design. There is a visa that covers a certain list of careers that you can easily get into the States for, and one of them is graphic design. So I'm lucky that my graphic design job is under this agreement. There's other careers like interior design, engineering, I think there's teaching. You really have to do your research about which visa is right for you and how you can get to processing it. And if you think that maybe you should hire a lawyer to take care of this, because it can get really messy. But getting an apartment here was hell. It was really frustrating because nobody trusted a Canadian to pay rent, even though I had solid proof that I have been consistent with all my payments. Be prepared for not just your visa being difficult, but finding a place to live is very difficult. I think being a photographer is a great way to start. Find some Facebook groups, especially ones with, other fashion students. Another great way is to actually have an Instagram account. Have an Instagram account, put your contact in there. When more people notice it, they can share it amongst others, and that way you can actually find some work through that way. It's not too difficult to find an internship, a magazine internship. Just be aware that you're not going to be doing really anything related to the magazine unless it's a really small startup. We all have to start somewhere, and some people get to start off really luckily, but those people are usually Kardashians, so forget it. Yeah, finances. I mean, I don't have to go into specifics, but I can definitely give a lot of advice about living in the most expensive city in the world. There is a very exact equation. It's the closer you move to the city, the smaller the apartment, and the more expensive it is. The most important thing for me was to find an apartment that required the least amount of transfers on the subway. And I live in Brooklyn. In 2013, I also lived in Brooklyn with my 2 other roommates, and we loved it. So, I mean, I was looking at Queens as well, but I just didn't happen to get any viewings in Queens. So I ended up moving back to Brooklyn, which is amazing. If you haven't started school yet and you know you want to be in fashion, I say go to fashion school, because a degree does help. But if you're already in school, you're thinking of changing, or if you're already done school and you want to get into the industry, maybe fashion school is not the best choice for you. Without a doubt, working is the best way. No hesitation, Colonel's Jalapeno Jack. I don't know. I mean, and I know if my friends and family were watching these videos, they would roll their eyes because it's not surprising to them at all. But if I had to say my coolest experience, I'd have to say taking care of Lola. And I've learned so much from her. She's taught me so much about everything, and it's so lame. I mean, I'm trying to think of something cooler. I can't. But when I do think of something cooler, I will definitely let you know. If I had to be something, I guess I would be a bird. Because I would love to fly. If I had to be a specific kind of bird, I think I would be a seagull. Because seagulls eat everything. And so I would be a seagull, I would eat everything that I could, and then I would just fly my way through the day. If I had to be somebody, I don't know. I would love to live like an islander. somebody that lives on a tiny little island. They spend their day looking for food. They eat whatever they catch. They don't have the clutter of somebody that lives in a city, you know? So those are all the questions that I have. Obviously, moving out and starting a job has been a huge change in my life. So I do have a lot of talking to share, things about starting your career, dealing with moving to another country and homesickness, anxiety, long distance relationships, you know, I have a lot to share about that. But, you know, if you're not interested, if you prefer the fashion videos, if you prefer the DIY videos, let me know in the comments below. I wasn't able to bring my whole wardrobe and I wasn't able to bring all my DIY stuff here, but if that is what you like and that's what you're here for, feel free to let me know, because you know I'm here to cater to you guys, and I will try my hardest to upload every Sunday and stick to my schedule. But for now, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and I will talk to you later. Bye! Always wear flats, or at least bring flats to your internship. Bring snacks. If you don't get a lunch break, you need some sustenance. Be open to doing everything and anything.